we're going to get into the news, and that is to talk about the part 2 of Slava Smookrani. Basically, what happened was Smooya, obviously, he's framed as a problem player. I am not saying he is a problem player, but he's certainly a player who others view as being a problem player. And despite the fact he's clearly talented and he grinds CS and he's been doing full-time streaming, so he's match fit, to put it into those terms, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to go and play on other teams. And it's like, he has been the architect of his own downfall. We all famously remember, what he said about Big, and the immortal line, "Mummy, mummy, they're speaking German, mummy." We've done all the memes, right? And then there was Fnatic, where frankly he was done a little bit dirty by the Swedes, who just wanted him out because of, behavior. And obviously one of them was Crims, and we know that because Smooya did a giveaway and he said, "I'm not saying who pushed for me to be kicked out of Fnatic. But anyway, now here's my giveaway. Use code BALDEGG to win this giveaway." Which, by the way, hilarious. But I also suspect he thought he was being subtle. So anyway, Smooya found himself in this position where he was essentially having to be a stand-in for anyone who came calling. And Forza, a Russian team sponsored by Luke Oil, relevant to the story, don't worry, they needed a stand-in. Russian players, for some reason, are having problems getting in and out of countries where we're hosting these events. And we know that that's a potential byproduct, but we're still hosting them in the countries. And everyone's just fine with it, right? And maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. Certainly could think of some moderators in my chat who think it's a good thing. So, you're entitled to your opinions on that. But the bottom line is there was an opportunity for him to go and play for Forza. And so he took it. Now, here's another thing that happens at almost every esports event where there's a Ukrainian team and a Russian team. They play each other, don't they? Because we couldn't just live in a world where we just go, yeah, you know what? Can the Cosmos just have them separate from each other and not play with each other? Right? Wouldn't that be just good? Just so we don't, rub up against those very reasonable tensions. Let's just ignore all of that. But no, Forts had to play Monty. And so they played Monty, and Monty won. And even though Smooya was playing for Forza, he went on Twitter, and probably in his mind, he thought it was the equivalent of GG, which means good game in esports. But what he said instead was Slava Ukraini. Right. Now, unfortunately for everyone, this created an international incident because Russian teams can't be seen to be around anyone offering support to the Ukraine, and also probably just not a good idea to wade in to the world of geopolitics when you're a UK-based AWPer standing in for a Russian team. So, Monty went, "Whoa, we love a fucking Slava Ukraini." Monty being a Ukrainian organization. They highlighted the Slava Ukraini. They were tweeting at Owen, saying how based he was and all that stuff. And Forza got wind of it. And then something happened, which I've been told, there were some heated discussions, let's say, about, dude, what are you doing? You're going to really fuck us up here because, if any of us said Slava Ukraini, we're in prison. You've said it. You're our teammate. Do you see the issue? And Owen went, "Oh, yeah, my bad." My bad. I'll take it back publicly. So he did. He went on Twitter and he said, "Look, when I said Slava Ukraini, showing support for the Ukrainian resistance from the Russian invasion, I was just being playful, and don't take it too serious. It was just banter. I said the wrong thing. I don't judge people based on their nationality, and that includes Ukrainians and Russians. And I'm super happy to be at Forza, a Russian organization, and let's just play Counter-Strike." And okay, all right, Owen, that makes sense, man. I approve. So anyway, he then tweeted, "I'm going to stream. I'm going to stream I'm streaming, right? So he said, I'm going to stream. And he was going to stream on the day off. And this would have been a disaster because guess what happened next? Forza had to play Monty again in a motherfucking rematch. And so he tweeted out, I'm going to go on stream between these games. And I replied with the trailer for the movie, the fictitious movie from Grindhouse, Don't, where the trailer is just a man repeating over and over again, if you're thinking about opening the door, don't. And like, if you're thinking about saying anything about this topic again, don't. Right? That's it. And I think he took the message. He didn't stream. He shelved that idea and he went and he played the game. Forza were out and he went home. And then he did stream. And on that stream, he decided, among other things, to address the topic. So let's just look at that stream.
It's a sad life. Are you going to be on Force? Definitely not. I will never play for a Russian organization again in my life. When I get paid from Pro League, I'll be donating all of my money won by Pro League shirts to Ukrainian efforts. I didn't even take money for meals by Force organization. They said, hey, we're going for a team dinner. I said, you guys go for that. It's fine. I'll eat McDonald's by myself.
Right. Well, now, I'm sure many of you will be like, yeah, they're pretty fucking based. You've spelled Russia with some Z's in it, right? And I get that. Okay? But here's the problem, you see. There's a law. There's a law in Russia. This is really going to surprise you, I'm sure. There's a law in Russia where you can be imprisoned for sending any money or aid or anything like that to Ukrainian efforts. And so, obviously, by publicly saying, oh, hey, I'm going to take that money from Forza, a Russian organization sponsored by Lukoil, and I'm going to give it straight to Ukrainian charities, many of which will be supporting their military efforts. And this is totally fine to say publicly before I've been paid well in advance. So the problem really was a matter of timing, because he could have just said nothing, waited for Forza to pay him the money, then said, haha, Forza, I have given the money to Ukraine. How you like them apples? Done his Matt Damon bit in Good Will Hunting, and we all get on with it. But no. So I remember remarking, I went, gotta be careful talking about that, because turns out it's not just a case of they might not pay you. It's a case of if they pay you, they're risking being persecuted by the Russian state. So probably not a good idea to say that. Well, obviously, as you can see, did say that. And it was immediately on Reddit. And it's since been deleted. That it was on Overdrive Telegram. And somebody made a post going, Overdrive says Smooya will not get paid for his comments. And I was like, huh. Really? Now, obviously, it's Overdrive. So, you know, he'll just throw darts at a board. Not as many as Harumi, but, you know, he'll throw darts at a board, make reasonably intelligent guesswork. You know, I mean, like, again, I could have tweeted that out, and I know I've got, like, a 95% chance of being right. Would it be a story? Would I have had sources? No. Would I look like I know what I'm talking about? Yes, because my previous reputation. But obviously, if you do things like that, you have fallen into the dark side of journalism, which, you know, I will never do. So, this story then got picked up and confirmed over on VP Esports. The charitable intentions of CS2 veteran Owen Smooya Butterfield have not only garnered attention, but also potentially ignited a financial dispute with his former team. After recently parting ways with Forza because he was straight out the motherfucking door after Slava Smookrani gate, Smooya made a heartfelt announcement during a live stream disclosing his decision to donate his portion of the prize money earned from placing 21st to 28th at ESL Pro League 19 to support the country of Ukraine. Ukraine. This selfless act of solidarity aimed at providing assistance to Ukraine has reportedly caused tension and friction between Smooya and the organisation he was previously associated with. The conflicting interests between personal philanthropy and contractual obligations within the competitive gaming industry serve as a reminder of the intricate dynamics and challenges faced by professional esports players. I mean, I will say, that's not really what it shows. It's a pretty unique situation. I would go so far as to say one that will likely never be replicated again, although you never know. So ultimately, what they sort of conclude is that the organization may not be inclined to fulfill their financial obligations towards a donation, which could potentially lead to a confrontation between Smooya and the team. And this creates an even bigger headache, right? Because remember, it was ESL Pro League. And so there is a set of agreed behavior that you are meant to enter into if you are a Pro League participant. And so, as we've seen, for instance, when they find Astralis over the Hunden and Casper shit nonsense that I revealed on my Substack, they also do police this behavior, right? And so the question now becomes, Forza are going to turn around and say, legally, we can't do it. They probably just don't want to, although, you know, I don't know. I don't know what the Forza management and Forza staff believe about Putin and the invasion. I wouldn't lay claim to that. But what I can say is they were very pissed off about the position they were put in, and so obviously they may decide, you know, we're just not going to pay you. We consider that a behavioral lapse. But by withholding money from a player who may very well play again in future Pro League seasons and a team that may very well play in future Pro League seasons, there is an argument to say ESL must once again wade in and have to police this. And this is the really funny fucking part of it all. Because remember, ESL have been swerving all over the road on this Russia issue. You know, for example, they prevented Virtus Pro from being Virtus Pro. They made them make up a fake brand called Outsiders, and they still claim fallaciously it was Outsiders that won IEM Rio when we all know it was Virtus Pro. And they even went so far as to pretend when they sent the trophy to Virtus Pro, and Virtus Pro said, look, we've got the trophy, they went, well, this is a disappointing surprise. We thought you were Outsiders. You just gave us an address in Armenia. Yeah, we gave you the publicly listed Virtus Pro office address in Armenia because since like September 22 or whatever it's been, they were owned by a fucking Armenian org. So ESL did that. They said we've conducted an investigation. And even though we're never going to publicly list our findings of that investigation, Virtus Pro have to be Outsiders. What about Gambit? Well, Gambit, we've done an investigation and yeah, they're bad too. So they have to wear white t-shirts or something. Gambit went, well, we've barely got any sponsors and we barely got any money. So this kind of ruins us. Well, yeah, well, sorry about that. Oh, well, don't worry. We'll just sell our team's image rights or whatever the fuck it was. Contract rights. We'll just sell that to a Norwegian talent agency so a North American team can swoop in, buy a Russian team at a time when you're not supposed to be giving money to Russian entities, and use a Norwegian proxy, and no one will say anything about that. Well done, Cloud9. Okay, but surely then, right, we get Team Spirit, though, yeah? We get Team Spirit. Well, why do you say that, Richard? Because they're based in Serbia. Ah, yeah, but they've never disclosed who their owners are, and we know they're Russian. So who's their owner? Couldn't that be an oligarch? Anyone want to do an investigation into that? No, we're not going to do an investigation into that, actually. Sorry, we're not going to do that. And then, okay, well, what about Forza? I mean, they're fucking sponsored by Lukoil. Surely, right? Surely they have to wear a white t-shirt and make up a fake org. No, actually, we're fine with them. What? What do you think goes in the fucking tanks and the jeeps? Where do you think their tax money goes? Like, are we serious? Yeah, and obviously their other owner is Spartak fucking Moscow, and Spartak Moscow banned from the Champions League. So are we gonna make them wear white t-shirts and make a fake org? Are we doing that? No, okay, we're not doing that. So ESL have been, and by the way, now ESL have just all walked it back and said, yeah, forget what we did for like 18 months. And so the last thing they'll want to do is roll up their sleeves and get involved in this again. But if they can't guarantee that players who participate in their league are going to get paid, kind of a bad look. I mean, not as bad as maybe being associated with the Saudi Arabian state in direct contradiction to all of your core values. But, bad. I mean, 6 years ago, not paying your players as ESL, that would have been a scandal, right? So, and because obviously this is how it goes. ESL have to pay Forza. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. The teams register a payment, like bank account, for the money to go into. They get it wire transferred to them after that, and then they disseminate it among the players because obviously certain orgs, certain teams, they have, they take a cut out of the money, so it goes to them first. So, interesting. And we don't know what's in Smooy's contract and how much of a cut they're going to take and blah, blah. So it's a mess. It's a mess. But you've got to, God bless Owen. God bless him. He always causes a stink somehow. You've just got to love it.